The most defiant thing I did that year was breaking up with him while he was still inside me. Ethan said nothing, just kept moving with renewed intensity. I cried until my voice was hoarse, and he only became more fierce, even when I couldn't make a sound anymore. He didn't stop. He thought punishing me would make me obedient. He never expected me to pull a vanishing act. I was gone for 5 years. Later, he was never gentle with me again, tossing me around like a rag doll. "Why are you crying? Isn't this what you asked for?" The room was dimly lit, the air still thick with the humid aftermath of our intimacy. His forehead pressed against the hollow of my neck, nuzzling gently. It was our most intimate habit, all dependency, all tenderness, as if we could melt into each other's very bones through this simple touch. But in this moment, it felt like an invisible hand was squeezing my heart, making even breathing feel rough. He lifted his head, his dark eyes wet and gleaming with fragments of light, making it almost impossible for me to speak. I raised my hand, wiping away the moisture at the corner of my eyes. Finally, I whispered, "Let's break up." Ethan's body visibly stiffened, as if he hadn't heard clearly, his pupils contracting slightly. "What?" I pressed my lips together. I said, "Let's end this." He froze completely, confusion and helplessness flickering in his eyes. "Clara, this joke isn't funny at all." I turned my face away, unable to look into his eyes anymore. "It's not a joke. I got into Wharton with a full scholarship." He responded almost instinctively. "Then I'll come with you." "I don't need you to." I cut him off, my voice cold. "Ethan, look at yourself. Do you think the Yang group would ever let you go? What's between us has never been just about feelings. There's your family, your responsibilities. That chasm I can never cross." I took a breath, making each word clear and cruel. I can't let a relationship trap my only chance to turn my life around. This is where it ends. As I tried to get up, he pulled me back onto the bed. He pressed down on me, his burning breath enveloping me, his voice rough and low. "You choose your path. I won't stop you, but I won't let you push me away with this excuse. I won't let you abandon me." He was stubborn as a wounded animal. My heart ached, but I still pushed him away forcefully. "I've made myself clear. Whether you accept it or not is up to you." He shook his head, his voice choked as if questioning himself. "Why can't the future coexist with me?" His movements suddenly became aggressive as he hoisted my legs over his shoulders. I called him crazy, but he only invaded me silently, as if using this most primal way to confirm that I still belonged to him, until I could no longer resist, my cries fragmenting into soft whimpers. Only then did he slow his movements, holding me preciously, his voice full of longing. "Don't break up. We'll go abroad together. I can handle things at home. Don't leave me." Each word hit my chest like a weight, making it ache. But I knew better than anyone that dignity and future were never gifts from others. I had crawled for over a decade to escape that pit. I couldn't risk being dragged back for any relationship. The trap might be a dead end, but it was also my only way out. I closed my eyes, swallowing all emotions, silently enduring his desperation. Late at night, in exhausted delirium, I felt him carefully pull me into his arms. That familiar warmth finally gave him peace, but I was completely awake. Morning light seeped into the bedroom as I woke beside him. He was still asleep, his brow slightly furrowed, breathing deeply, as if trapped in some inescapable dream. I instinctively reached out to smooth away that unease, but withdrew my fingertips just before touching him. I only traced his features with my gaze, as if trying to etch every inch into memory. This would probably be the last time. I rose silently, emptying my section of the closet. Each piece of clothing was folded neatly and put back in place, erasing all traces of my existence. My gaze finally settled on the photo frame by the bed. Pausing for a moment, I still pulled out the frame and tucked it into the deepest corner of my suitcase. Consider it the last bit of selfishness in this ending. Looking back, the living room felt empty in one spot, as did my heart. My phone showed flight information, departure to London in 1 hour. Before boarding, I sent one final text. "It's done. Don't forget what you promised me." As the plane broke through the clouds, I removed my SIM card. Outside was an endless expanse of grey blue, 30,000 feet up. The clouds outside were frozen in time, silent. The plane's constant humming carried memories flooding back. It reminded me of that afternoon, in a room filled with the aroma of coffee. Mrs. Yan calmly sipped her drink. You are his only weakness. She set down her cup, her voice steady but absolute. Right now, the Yang Group's power struggles are at their peak. Your presence will only hurt him. Besides, I've uncovered some things about your family background. That's quite a problem. I met her gaze, my heart tightening, but my expression remained composed. What do you want me to do? Mrs. Yan? Leave him. I'll send you abroad. For you. This is also a good opportunity. Silence spread through the air. I lowered my eyes for a moment, then looked up with a calm tone. Fine. But I don't want charity disguised as escape. I want a recommendation letter to Wharton and an interest-free loan sufficient for my first year. I'll pay you back. Surprise flickered in her eyes, then turned to feign appreciation. You're more clear-headed than I imagined. I nodded slightly. Because you're right. This is a good opportunity for me. She got what she wanted, and I grasped my only lifeline. Later I learned that after I left, Mrs. Yin used the excuse of stabilizing morale to pin him in key positions, crushing his time with family responsibilities. Passport frozen. Accounts monitored. He lost all possibility of freedom. 5 years passed in a flash. At the celebration party, champagne glasses clinked with crisp sounds. An investor raised his glass to me. Ms. You. I knew you had potential back at Wharton. The word Wharton pierced my heart like a fine needle. The champagne in my mouth seemed to carry the bitter taste of that coffee from years ago. I had to admit, Mrs. Yen had been right. Going abroad had given me the capital to fight against my past. Ethan couldn't protect me then, and leaving was my best choice. The day I decided to return home, Jane just looked at me quietly. Are you sure? The domestic market is bigger, I answered calmly, though only I knew the truth. After 5 years of training, I finally had the qualifications to look back and see that forcibly interrupted past, no longer needing to worry about shadows constantly looming overhead. Setting foot on New York soil again, my mindset had completely changed. The figure dragging luggage in panic departure seemed to have faded into distant memory. The car door closed softly, shutting out 5 years of foreign struggles. Not far away, in the shadow of the terminal, a black Mercedes S-Class sat quietly. The window was half down, Ethan's fingers holding an unlit cigarette, his gaze locked on that distant figure. For 1,800 days and nights, he could only piece together fragments of her through photos and videos. Now the real person was within reach, vivid, alive, yet with an unfamiliar distance. Until that figure got in a car and drove away. He slowly withdrew his gaze. He closed his eyes, pushing all surging emotions back into the depths. When he opened them again, only dark determination remained. Clariu, since you're back, don't think about leaving again. The second week after returning home, Jane handed me a party invitation. The gold lettering burned against my fingertips, slightly warm. I knew this party centered around Ethan, which suited my purposes perfectly. Light and shadow swayed in the ballroom, voices humming low. I wore a black velvet gown, moving through the clinking glasses and small talk with investors. Just as the wine glass touched my lips, a voice pierced through the noise, hitting my eardrums hard. I hadn't heard it in 5 years, but had never forgotten it for a moment. It was him. Ms. You. The investor noticed my pause. I composed myself. With slight apology, I think I saw a familiar face. The conversation continued, but every inch of my skin seemed to open, silently tracking his location. He was being surrounded by people, walking toward the depths of the hall, finally ending the conversation. I nodded gracefully, then turned around quite naturally. My gaze swept casually across the crowd, but suddenly, unexpectedly, crashed into a pair of bottomless eyes. Ethan stood where light and shadow intersected, surrounded by an aura of nobility and oppression. His youthful air had been worn away by time, leaving only distance. But his eyes completely overlapped with that night 5 years ago. All surrounding noise receded like a tide. Yet I could see more clearly how his knuckles gripping the glass were white with tension. I didn't dodge, only slightly raised my wine glass, offering him a restrained and distant smile. His steps paused almost imperceptibly, the formulaic smile on his face nearly cracking. I turned around decisively, as if casually plucking a string in an old lover's heart.